Hello, fellow YouTubers. Welcome to YouTube Gaming Community episode number 218. So today we're going to start off with our topic, which is from Magnus X1. Now, Magnus has been in this community for a very, very long time. In the early days of YouTube, basically was around making videos and a part of the gaming community before the community knew it was a gaming community. Before there were very little amount of channels. Back when people were just, talking about the retro game they loved and showing it and talking about it and their memories of it, and that was the early days of the community. We didn't know every detail about that game. It was just us from memory recollecting about what we remember about the game. People's off time. People didn't make videos every day or anything like that back then. And so Magnus has been around a long time, which gives him very much credibility when talking about Magus Rants. YouTube gaming community kind of sucks. It gives him credibility. Whereas someone who's been around for a year or two make the same video and only had made 10 videos, then they probably would have been a negative response due to how long they've been here and of course how many videos they made. It's just the way the nature of the internet works. Now I'm going to draw your attention to 3 other videos that do expand on certain parts of this video. That is, the community is needed, video responses are needed, and how to fix the community. And if you really want to talk about why he made this video and the reaction he got after it came out, listen to the ST2K show interview with Magnus X1 to hear that. But what was the point of his video? The point of his video, the community kind of sucks right now. And I've seen a lot of these videos over the years that community gaming is dead and the community sucks. Why did this one get attention? Why did this one get so many responses? And quite honestly, it was the right video at the right time, where everybody was thinking the same thing, and he made it, and everybody was drawn to make a response. Now, originally, I was going to actually do the checkout channel list of everybody who left a response to him, but there's some channels who did it. There's no way I could list all of them. Listen, the point is, why is there so much angst about the community right now? Why is there angst? Is because there is no outlet for the community to interact with the actual community. There's no way for us all to interact together. What I mean by that is, in the older days of YouTube, and some of what people say are more nostalgic than reality in the sense about the older days of YouTube, but in the older days of YouTube, when someone would make a video response, everybody would flock to respond to it, and it became like a little mini event. Like everybody, if a medium channel made a video response, and the smaller medium channels would make video responses, or if it was just a big deal. Like, you wanted to go make a video response, you wanted to interact with other channels, and that was a way to do it. A lot of the things that have perpetuated this community that has hurt a lot of things is the simple number one opinion that if I comment to a video, especially a big one or a medium one, they're not going to read it. They're not going to leave a comment. Why should I bother? And that has now perpetuated through the small channels now, where people just don't leave comments at all. And don't get me wrong, I've been guilty of this as anybody. Where I watch a video, I hit the like button, I've done my part, I'm good. When really, should have left a comment. A positive comment, maybe something simple as "I like your style," or "that was one of my favorite games." Something to be more interactive, because when you watch videos on our YouTube now for the gaming community, they can have thousands of views and very few comments. Comments to videos are very important. It is one of the funnest things to do as someone who makes videos, is read the comments and react to them and see how different people's opinions are. It's very fun to do when you make a video. It is the most exciting part to me making a video, is putting it out there and seeing the reaction people have. That is, to me, the crack that keeps me making videos in a sense. It is the thing that when I make videos, it is the funnest part of making videos is actually the responses of people in the comment section. So you need to leave responses. You need to draw attention to the channels you like. Don't simply say, "Well, I watched them, I did my part." Now, you can do a shout-out video, and I'm going to say this. Bigger channels, as long as the community exists, in some way or form, it'll always be big channels versus the rest. It's in some way or form, it's always going to exist. It's just the nature of the beast. It just is. It's always going to be that way. Not saying everybody hates the big channels, but some way, shape, or form, everybody's got a nitpick about the bigger channels. It's just always going to exist. And the reason it exists, and if bigger channels ask, how come people have a problem with us, is because they simply don't feel they don't give back to the community. The community that built them up, they feel they don't give back to it. Now, certain people are never going to be happy no matter what they do. That's just how some people are. They want more than someone could ever give or rationally do. But, you know, a shout-out video once a year, only channels you like. This is another thing. Anybody, no matter how big or small you are, do not shout out channels you don't like just to shout out channels. You need to shout out channels that you like, and you like to watch their content. Either you like the person or the content. Don't shout out channels just to shout out channels, because that's not the point. You're not helping anybody if you do that. You'll find you'll actually do a much better job describing the channel and giving people reason to go if you actually like it than if you're just doing it to shout somebody out and you don't like it. Or maybe the bigger channels, and listen, the bigger channels are never going to win, right? I mean, people say, oh, they should do collaboration with smaller channels. Well, yes and no. I mean, there is a very negative backlash to a big channel doing a collaboration with a small channel. That their user base could very well just turn on that person. They'd be like, oh, this person sucks. Why are they in my video? What are they doing here? You know, there is a negative to doing that. There is a positive depending on the person. They could simply, you know, put out on social media, hey, I like this channel, go check it out. They could, at the very bottom, and I know a lot of them don't want to necessarily, the shout-outs can be an albatross, especially when you get bigger, because so many people watch you for a while. They think they should get a shout-out, and they get upset. You see that usual, oh, I thought you'd shout me out, LOL, or I deserve to shout out, LOL. Trying to be funny, but they're really not. They're really upset, you know. So they could simply, at the bottom of their video, say, you know, in the description, hey, check out this channel, I think it's really cool, or something like that. Again, each person's different. There is no rule that says people have to do it. And I get why, listen, if you're a channel doing high production, it's a lot of work. You know, you still have life and other stuff going on. It's not always easy. And you get, like me, I get completely caught up in the videos I'm making. I sometimes completely ignore other stuff like that. So I completely understand how that can happen. If you're really into what you're doing, yeah, you can just simply, I'll do it later. And then before you know it, 2 years has gone by and you haven't shouted anybody out. But being supportive of each other is the big thing. Being supportive. When someone asks you a question about how you do this, answer the question. Don't just ignore them. Be positive, you know, about it. Leave positive comments. You know, shout channels you like. Those ways can be supportive to the community in general. If you could do a collaboration with somebody, that'd be cool, you know. Find ways to interact. Which maybe some ways I might do here, but I'm still working that out right now. This video has like little clips of videos I'm shouting out or pictures. Getting back to this, I want to get this one done, get out the door, and then start working on that later, because it took a little longer than I expected to get this all together for this week. So that's my response. What do you think we need to do to fix the community or make the community a better place? There is no right or wrong answer. We'd love to hear you guys' comments below. So let's get to the channels to check out. Before I do, oh wait, I do have an intro for this. This is my best intro. I love this intro. Anyway, here it is right now.
Channels to check out. What? You don't like new stuff?
So guys, here we are back again, and this time we're going to talk about channels to check out. I've got 10 of them for you this time, and the first one you should check out is Irish Nerd Life. He basically does, they basically do collection, pickups, gameplay, and he has a game room tour on there. So if you like that kind of stuff, definitely go check out the channel. You know, mainly more of a mix of like pickups and gameplay, but you know, there is some game room stuff, and of course collection stuff there. So if you like that stuff, definitely go check out. The next one is 8-Bit Andy. I keep thinking of Toy Story when I hear that name. And anyway, so basically, his channels is like pickups and reviews, so mainly more pickups than anything. So if you kind of like, you know, that stuff, in a very, by the way, in a very well done style, and a very for as small as his channel is a lot of really good, well production in it. And the next one is the Console Snob. He does, you know, gameplay, pickups, reviews, collection, and memory videos. Again, originally Grumpy Gaming HD, but now on the actual page it says Console Snob. So again, if you like those kind of things, especially memories, I'm always drawn to memory videos. When someone does videos on the memories of games, that always draws me to watch those kind of things, because I always think it's fun to see, you know, people's memories on games. The next one is RetroGamingGirl. Now she's done the collection, the pickups. You know, she's actually shown off plushies in a video. She's done an amiibo video. a playthrough. And there's actually one video on her channel where she actually shows her folder of Pokemon cards. So if you like, in the plushies, I think are more related to kind of Pokemon too. So if you're more leaning towards like the Pokemon, the stuff, this is definitely would be a channel for you definitely to check out. Next one is Gamergeekworld. This is a rather interesting channel. So he does Let's Plays, but mainly he does father versus son plays where they play the same game versus each other. Or father versus son eBay challenge where they have a set budget and they find stuff on eBay and then they let the people who watch the video decide, vote in the comments section to see who won. Really cool concept. And then the last thing they have is the top 8 list of like certain console games, like the top 8 list. But the father versus son stuff's really cool and plays. And they both play the game, see who does better. And the eBay challenge, really cool stuff. The next one is the Dreamcast Junkyard, which there are some live streams they've done of playing Dreamcast earlier. There are some live streams of the channel they've done on there. There are reviews. And then there's a thing called the Dream Pod, which is a rather interesting thing. So basically what it is basically a snippet of some Dreamcast games together in one video. So if you want to see them like talk about, in some gameplay of certain Dreamcast games, maybe it's 5 or 6, whatever, all together in each episode, you definitely may want to check out. It's a really cool kind of thing that most people don't seem to do. The next one is Retro Shocker 180, which the person does pickups, and the most interesting series they've done, and they're in 17 episodes so far, is finish them. Now the point of this series is his goal is to finish 52 games minimum this year. And what he does is he shows like a little clip of the game and obviously talking about it. So it's a really cool series where he's trying to finish 52 games in 1 year, and that's a lot of games to anybody to finish, no matter whether you're talking retro or current. It's not just one system. It's through different systems that he's playing different games and trying to finish 52 in 1 year. The next one we're going to talk about is Retromancers, and he does like Let's Plays where both of them are together talking about the game they're playing, and then they do this Let's Watch the 80s, which is them basically watching a movie like The Goonies, sitting there watching it and talking about it. You don't really see the movie. You can kind of hear a little bit, but just them sitting there watching the whole movie and commenting and talking about the movie as they watch it. So if you're an 80s person and you want to hear somebody else's opinion about why we're watching Goonies or other great movies, they had Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, just movies in general that they old retro, like old movies from obviously 20 years ago, definitely go check that out. Our next channel is Retro Grand Prix, and he does Let's Playing. And the interesting thing that they do as a series on this channel is called Playing Blind. So basically what they do is one person is blindfolded. Could be playing Balloon Fight, could be playing any number of games. And what they do is one person is playing and the other person is kind of telling them what to do. So they're trying to play through the game. They'll say, hey, you need to hop left. Or they almost they'll say, you need to do the same thing again. They're trying to help them, but they still have to do it blindfolded. So it is kind of cool and fun to watch sometimes. As they're trying to communicate, they can't, and they screw up, at times. It's really fun stuff to watch. Our next and last video, our channel to check out today is Saturn Memories. So basically, this is all about Saturn, obviously, in which they do gameplay, playthroughs, and they have extra. Now, the extra stuff on their channel is like old commercials for Saturn. And this is not like just US Saturn. This is like Japanese Saturn games. There was a pickup video on there I saw. But mainly it's that kind of stuff. Like the extras are like the old commercials for Saturn. So if you're definitely a Saturn fan, this is definitely one of the channels you definitely should check out. So guys, there is no intro this time, but it is time to get to the rest of the videos to check out. And the first one is somebody returning to their channel that hasn't been on their channel in a while. And that is Star Soldier 1. Now he has Arizonk World Champ channel on YouTube, but he came back to Star Soldier 1. And he actually made a Magus Rants, a YouTube gaming community kind of sucks response video, in which in that video he also talks why he left his channel and why he came back to it. And knowing that he's going to have to rebuild it. Because obviously, if you leave your channel for several years, you almost have to rebuild it kind of in a way from scratch. And he was very positive. Let me say, Star Soldier 1 was very positive about the community, just like a lot of people were, just like Heavy Metal Game Show was, and a lot of other people. Transparency Pro. A lot of people who made videos on this subject were, and if you someone who used to watch Star Soldier 1. I know every time I made a video game challenge in the community videos in earlier days with shmups, he always won those shmup challenges every single time. Just couldn't beat him. He just always would win them. So, go check him out. Now we're going to talk about a video that kind of was not controversial in the sense for the people involved, but more for fans or haters. So Pat the NES Punk did a video called "YouTubers Getting Exclusive Games Store Store Deals," for the Unnecessary podcast that he and Ian do, and essentially talked about the Game Chasers. And here's what's funny. So Pat the NES Punk and the Game Chasers have been friends for years, right? And they told them they were going to post this video, and they knew about it. So to them, no big deal. They're very positive about it. They didn't have a problem with it. But it was either the haters of either side that had a problem. So the people who didn't like the Game Chasers were going, obviously, bashing them. And the people who didn't like Pat for whatever reason were going to bash him. And the people involved were fine with it. And the truth is, let's get to the truth about this. When people make videos and they record at game stores, the game store gives them deals, right? I never really pay attention to that when I watch the video. I always watch videos like theirs because I enjoy it. I don't really watch, well, they got it for so much cheaper than everybody else. I actually like to see what the game stores look like and, the games they look at. I don't really look at, how much they got. Because let's be honest, if you go to the game store and you found a $60 game for $30, when you grab shelves and go up to the counter and say, hey, this is $60, you need to charge me full price, or if the real way to get deals at game stores is to go there, build up, be an established customer, someone who goes there all the time, and by the way, talk to the people who work there, and ultimately, you're probably more likely to get a deal there. But you just walk in a store and think they're going to give you some great deal, it's just not going to happen. That's usually reserved for loyal customers or people they like and they talk to all the time. It's just the way it goes. Repeat customers who help them and they'll help you. And so to actually go and think you're going to get the same kind of deals, because anybody on YouTube goes to the store and gets a deal, is kind of not true. The only thing I pay attention to those videos, a Game Chaser or anybody else, is the actual prices on the wall, the games actually, or systems they actually have listed. That's a better idea to give you how much they charge for certain things than actually what they get in a deal. And there's nothing wrong with them getting a deal. At some point, when you have a channel where people are expecting you to find deals, you can't just go, hey, we found this for full price all the time, because then people are going to be like, well, you used to find deals and you don't now. They're in that realm where now, no matter what you do, you're kind of going to lose, right? So, again, that was more of a situation where people who were haters of either side came out to hate more than actual, truly people who really wanted to discuss the topic. And there were a lot of people who were like, hey, you need to go to the store and build a rapport. You can't, ask for a discount. But just as many as there were the haters to the video. But anyway, check it out. They did have some good points in that video. It's definitely worth checking out. Now, next video we're going to talk about is somebody who used to be part of the gaming community named Mini Flipper, but his channel he's now on is called After End Media, because he has a love for movies, and he reviews movies on there and talks about them. He actually does a podcast with somebody else where he talks about movie news and movies and stuff too. And he used to be in the gaming community, but now he focuses on that. And the community is not just about you always doing games. It's supporting people who used to be part of our community, and he still, in his fact, is in a sense part of it, because he does is a cameraman who helps out, records for the Game Chasers. So he is still active in helping videos be made for the community. He just doesn't make them himself. So it is After End Media. Thank you for the 1,000 subscribers. Please watch. Very important. So it's just a thank you video for him hitting 1,000 subscribers on his channel, and congratulations to him on that. Again, I've always liked his content, and I really do like his movie reviews. Actually, when I go look for movie reviews, I actually go kind of check it. One of the people I check out first when it comes to movie reviews. The next video we're going to talk about is another kind of celebration milestone video, and that is from CGRundertow. Update CGR app in 5 years of CGRundertow. So Derek and CGRundertow has been doing Undertow for 5 years now, which is obviously the little brother to Classic Gamer Undertow, and for him to talk about the 5 years, he's got 134,000 subscribers on that channel, and to see that channel grow and him do it in his own way is really cool. Again, anytime anybody can hit a 5-year milestone, I think it's really an awesome feat. And they just released their app because, listen, everybody's trying to find a way to get around the YouTube subscription thing. Since the subscription thing really isn't very consistent, you never know when you're going to get somebody's video in your subscription box. So it's just their way of ensuring their fans actually get to know their videos are out. So it's really cool. And the next video is ArcadeUSA, the Nintendo NES Blinking Light Wind Cartridge Tray Mod. This was a Kickstarter that was out there, basically a way to get around, the blinking light problem that a lot of people have with their old NESs. It's a mod, so you're actually modifying the tray and stuff so that you don't get the blinking lights anymore. So if you definitely want to check that out, check out his video. Really good detail on going about it. And now we're going to get to a series that has moved once again to another channel for another year. And the channel is, I want to say Tooty, but it's Touty, probably Tooty UK. I probably pronounced it wrong if people are going to make fun of me for it, but I just pronounced it wrong. Anyway, YouTuber of the Month, June 2015. He's now taking over, obviously, YouTuber of the Month for the year, and there's a lot of great channels on here, like always. Definitely go check it out. Definitely go support YouTuber of the Month. It's a really cool thing. People in the community nominating people in the community for this award. It's a really cool thing. Another cool video I came across was by the channel called Console Wars. And it is Console Wars, Toy Story, Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis. So the point of mainly point of their channel, not all, is these Console War videos where one of the guys in the channel is a Sega fan, Genesis, and the other guy is a Nintendo fan. In this case, they go over Toy Story, and they go over basically like graphics and music and what each game has on what systems and on the other, and to decide what system version of this game was better. Definitely check out. Very entertaining, especially if you were around during the Super Nintendo Sega days to see which one of these two games versus this game was actually better. And our next video is from Bass Invader, Retro Homebrew, So Mario, Super Mario NES. So basically, this is obviously a homebrew game, and it is basically, imagine Mario Brother 2 playing on the original Sonic Hedgehog levels. That is the best way to describe this game. Again, looks really cool. Definitely be something I would love to have for my NES down the road to play it. But if you want to see what it looks like and him talk about it, definitely check it out. It's kind of cool. It is cool. Because the Super Mario Bros. 2, I actually like that game a lot, even though some people don't. And the video I did not put on my list, I'm going to have to put on that you guys should check out, is 3 kilobytes, which has now been changed over to JKB. The channel name's still the same. That is, of course, was Jay on the channel. He now just does it on his own. And he has a new style. And so the first video he did on his channel was a movie review for Mad Max. And what he does in this new style is, his channel says hero or villain because he's kind of caught in this like time warp thing where every video he's warping in and out of the movie, like the movie he's going to review, and at least a scene from it. And so what he does when he starts these reviews is basically starts off with the movie getting a 10 out of 10, and as he goes along, he talks about what's right and wrong with the movie. In the very end, he gets what he thinks the final score is. Now, Mad Max, he gave it a 10 out of 10. A lot of people like the new movie. I definitely need to see it yet because I really like Mad Max, and I've heard a lot of positive things about it. So if you want to see someone trying something new, trying to kind of reboot themselves in the way they want to do it, instead of having 3 people, it's now just 1, definitely check it out. And the last video to check out of the day, the last one to get this video done, is from Metropolis, 5 gaming questions for the community. This is a video you could do a video response to. And he had 5 questions, and the first one is, what RPG character class would you choose to be in real life? I love Final Fantasy like 1 and 2. I love the mage character. I would love to be a mage. Just take care. Have a problem? Bam. Solve it with magic. That's what I would do. I'd be the original Final Fantasy mage. Bam. Problem solved. Bam. I'm gonna freeze you. Bam. That would just be fun. Second one is, you're competing against your friend in an arcade machine. What is more important to you, obtaining the high score or progressing further? That was rather interesting, and this was one I had a hard time coming to a decision from. But ultimately, because when I used to play the old arcade games in the arcade, right, you used to want to get the high score, but didn't you used to want to progress further than everybody else? Like when some of the games would show what level you got to, you not only wanted the high score, but you wanted levels higher than anybody else I've ever gotten. But when I was playing against my friend, I always wanted to get the high score. I always wanted to outscore them. So for me, it was always the high score. Like, if we're competing against each other, and I knew the high score was the difference between who wins and loses, I'd go for the high score. So the third question is, if you had the opportunity to publish your own video game, what would it be? Wow, this is kind of hard because I like a lot of different genres. I'm thinking, if I could make a video game that I would love, what kind of video game would I publish? What kind of video game would I make? Well, I would say, for me, I would love to make an old school 8-bit, platformer game, because those are just the games I grew up playing on. I would love to make an awesome platformer game where you're platforming, and in a sense, take elements of the best platformers. Obviously, Mario Brothers would be on there, but to make a cool platforming game, but yet not make maybe a different kind of world, and I have to make unique characters in different world. I would not want to copy anybody else. I want to make it unique where they were, the style of the characters were kind of different than other ones. And obviously in 8-bit you can only make things look so much, but still, that's definitely what I would do. And the fourth one, what is your favorite weapon in a game? Mine is simple, and I don't have a name for it, but it's just that bazooka-like badass, like especially in the 80s or late 80s, early 90s, like computer games, badass shooter weapon that would just destroy anything. You could wipe anybody out on the board with it. That is the kind of weapon, that's my favorite weapon in the game. Remember when you used to play those old games and you get the dinky weapons and you'd fight through it, but then you get this really badass, awesome gun that could just wipe out everybody really quickly? That's the weapon I always loved in the game, because then I could just roll through people in that game and blow them up or whatever. That is the fun weapon for me in a video game. And the last and final question, do you take the role of the hero or villain path of video games? I always take the hero path. I always want to see, in my morality, want to do the good thing in the game. And then if I decide I want to play the bad guy, I'll go back through the bad guy. But usually I almost always take the role of the good guy. I want to be the good guy. I make the good choices. That's just the kind of character I like to play in a game. And I wouldn't say that speaks of your morality, but it is fun to play the bad guy sometimes, but for me, I almost always play the hero. So guys, that's the YouTube game community for this week. Leave a comment below about anything you saw. Go check out the channels. Go check out the videos. Leave responses, comments to the videos. Let people know the community is out there, guys. And I will see you guys next week for another video. Later.